Well, it's good to be back with you guys. And Hazel.
So, yeah, I started recording. You want me to do the introduction? You want to do it?
Veronica's on too, Joe.
You can take care of it, Jeremy.
So today is June 16th, 2022 at 7:03 p.m. This is the Leadership Committee meeting of Bronx Community Board 11. We have a quorum. Do you want me, for the record, for the recording, do you want me to announce everybody who's here? Would that be helpful or no?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so we have Yahya Obeid, who's the chair of the committee. And we got Veronica Castro, who's maybe the co-chair. I don't think that's official, but she would take over in the case that Yahya's not here. Veronica Castro is the treasurer. And then we have Al D'Angelo, the chairperson of the board. Hazel Mura, the secretary of the board, also the housing chair. And Veronica is also the public safety chair. And Oral Selkridge, the sergeant at arms. And the acting land use committee chair, Ken Gelnick, could not be here. Joe Thompson, Economic Development Committee Chair, John Johnson, Ethics Committee Chair, Rabbi Fuchs, the Transportation Committee Chair, and then we have two members of the public. And let me share you want me to share the agenda, right? Everybody see this? Can everybody see this or no? And then president is myself, the district manager, Community Board 11.
Yes, we can see Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have main meeting minutes to vote on tonight. They weren't published in time. The next item of business, June public hearing. I don't know if you want to handle that now, Yahe, or you want to go to the full board agenda. It's up to you.
This is for the scooter, for the public safety.
Scooter and or with the question mark about remote participation, which we would have, remember the new open meetings amendment, after the state of emergency, we have to have a public hearing, we have to vote to allow remote participation going forward. So
Yeah,
it's really up to you.
we did that public hearing last week. I mean, we didn't get much attendance, but we did it. We just need to make a decision.
Yeah, I think the recommendation of the Borough President's Office is that we do it again because there were errors with the publication of it. So remember the public hearing is just to hear from the public, so you wouldn't have to attend it, right? Unless Al made it mandatory for the entire board, which I don't know if he's inclined to do.
So can we schedule it for next week then, before the general meeting?
Yeah, I think like maybe 6:30 before the general meeting. Do you think we'll need more than a half an hour? Al?
Yeah, Jeremy, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I think so. I think 1 hour would be good. I think 1 hour is better. We hope for some attendance. If we don't get much input, we'll just take a half-hour break before the meeting starts. I just don't want it to, if we get more people, I know it was just me and Sandy and maybe, it's probably me and Sandy and you last time. It was just me and her going back and forth, so that discussion only lasted a half hour. I think if we get a couple of more people in attendance, it's going to last more than a half hour.
Yeah, we did have some members of the public from there, but yeah. Okay, so we'll do an hour in advance. Okay. So any other questions about that? So we're going to have two public hearings this month then, right? We're going to do the e-scooters on Tuesday.
Nope, that one is right before public safety.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much attendance we're going to have for that one, since they've already gone and extended the pilot program for another year. But we can still have it and see. We can get opinions from the public on how they feel about it.
All right, so unless there's anything else, Yahay, can I move to item number 3?
Yep, you want to pull up the agenda?
Yeah, so we did get complaints about the hyperlink here doesn't work. This is a goal, right? The full board agenda, part of the problem with having the full board agenda in advance is we just had an executive board. We just had 3 motions. I mean, it's not necessarily practical to have the full board agenda up. It's the ideal. It's not necessarily the norm. So let me stop sharing. Let me pull up the Word document in which I draft this stuff, which I just started working on tonight. That's it? No, that's wrong. That's leadership, right? Full board. Can everybody view this? Full board? Yes, no?
Yeah, I can see them.
I can see it.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, I've got it.
It's there.
Can you make it a little bigger?
Yep. Is that better?
There you go.
So the first item of business is the location. Are we gonna do it remotely? We're gonna do it in person.
Let's do
I
it. remote.
say, yeah, if we're gonna get more people in attendance, we should do, especially when
I
there's a
think-
vote.
I would do it remotely. And I think
Also,
most,
Jeremy, I think last time we did voting, it was much easier to do it remote because you send that email or that link, we click on it and we do the count. When we do the voting in person, it's usually a hassle. You know, we got to pull over to the side. The committee goes over to the side for at least a half hour to do the counting. And it's usually a distraction
Counting.
too. Yeah, the distraction during the
Whereas-
voting, who voted, did you get your card, did you get your ballot, give me your ballot, did you fill it out?
Yeah, because it's electronically tracked, it does, and it puts into a spreadsheet. It's much more easy to tabulate votes, which is why I was asking last meeting, do we want the option for that, right? Yeah, it is easier.
Remote then. Jeremy.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I haven't contacted Maestros and they have graduation stuff going on, so I don't even know if we'd have a location. Okay, so then nobody wants the other option, so we're doing remote.
Yep.
yes, I would do remote. Do you need a head count?
I mean, does somebody want to make a motion and vote? It's
All
up to
right,
you.
I make a motion
Can
to
we do the
vote
motion?
on,
Hold on. Sandy, sorry to interrupt you. Can we
Okay.
hold on the motion until after the gallery?
Well, you know what? We could do the whole. We could, yes, that's true. And let's do the whole agenda first. See if there are any other issues with the agenda. So that's the agenda will set the location as well as everything else. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, hey, good point. Okay, Sergeant at Arms. Moment of silence. I don't know if we want to get rid of, Ukraine here, basically COVID-19, or we want to keep all this stuff still. It's all still pretty topical.
Yeah, it's all pretty topical. It's fine. It's
I
still
think I
current.
would leave it in. I would
Yeah,
leave
it's
it
still
in.
current. It's still current. It's okay, Jeremy.
And it's going to be current. Believe me, it's not going to change in a week.
Okay.
It would be
So-
nice if it did.
Yes, that's true, but
Yeah, I know.
that's
Um,
wishful thinking.
Okay, so we're having a public hearing before the next full board meeting, right? That we discussed that. Related to full board recordings. Well, I don't know which order you want this stuff in now that we just voted on. I mean, I think I have in reverse, Gron. I have it in, I think we voted on removal first in the executive board. Does it matter to you which order we put this stuff out?
I don't think it matters.
No, Al, since it's your report, do you want to? I mean, I agree. I tend to agree with Brad, but it's up to you, Al.
It
It's your
doesn't matter.
report.
It doesn't matter. The motion to remove might be first.
Chairman will have the ability to go back and forth with everyone. Once he covers them all, Jeremy's fine. Okay, change it then.
So motion to remove. We got 2 members for attendance issues. Unless there's any questions about that, we have motion to limit gallery session for initial 2 minutes of speaking time. This, I don't know if the wording sounds the best for everybody.
What, can I ask, for initial 2 minutes of uninterrupted speaking time, does that mean we give them more?
If you think there's a if it's productive, if it's worth the back and forth. Unfortunately, what Al was saying is too many times it's not.
Okay. All right,
And I think
I understand.
not just the public would agree, not just us, but the public has voiced that opinion too, basically.
All right, okay, Jeremy, I have a question. If we remove these 2 members, how many members then will we have on the board so that we'll know when we get to a quorum, et cetera?
We currently have 34 members, so
So
that
this
would
will
it's down.
make it 32, correct? If we remove
Yeah,
them.
but I'm not sure the relevance of that
Oh, the
question.
relevance is when we need a quorum, I want to know how many we should,
Oh, okay.
how many we
But they're
need.
not there anyway, Sandy. Yeah, that's the problem.
No, but
Yeah,
Yeah, but they may not be there, but we're still counting them as members of the board.
Yeah.
If they are removed, then they won't be counted and the board membership will be lower. Therefore, the quorum will be lower.
Yeah, but ideally we'll have reappointments and appointments by September. So
Oh,
the
okay.
number won't matter, hopefully, but you never know. Because
All
remember the last year, I think the appointments were in September. The year before that, they were in October. So you really never know.
Point of information. Did these people ever show up and who appointed them?
So no, yes, they do show. They have shown up. It's just they have not shown up enough, or they've shown up enough. They missed enough meetings. It's on our website who appointed them. Celia Smoker's a borough president appointment. I forget who Mulaney's appointed by.
And they're both
But
pretty
to-
much, Jerry, both rookies, 1 year, 2 years.
No, LaHoyce has been here for more than 2 years, I think.
Yeah, she's been here for. It's on our website. It's on our
Okay.
website.
Okay, do you let the borough president know these people have been removed or whoever appointed them?
Well, they're up for removal. Yes, Tom is apprised that they're up for removal.
Okay,
He was
beautiful.
apprised
Thank you.
before.
We're gonna give them a chance to state their case before the vote, so
Okay,
if they have a
Thank you.
case that people agree with them,
okay, thank you.
This motion is not binding. The full board has to vote on it.
Okay,
So there's that. There's 2 minutes for the gallery. This does not pertain to guest speakers. This pertains to the gallery session where things tend to get out of hand. I mean, at least that's the way I make sense of it, right? And then we're going to purchase, as long as nobody's opposed to it, we're purchasing equipment to record meetings at the community board office. And it does have the ability to live stream and conduct hybrid meetings. Although legally, our options for hybrid meetings are somewhat limited.
All right, Jeremy, I have a question. Where does this money to purchase the equipment come from? Is it from the annual budget or from another area?
The annual budget that if we don't use it, we lose it by June 30th.
Okay. And how much would this equipment cost?
$7,400. And after that, we still have $3,000 to spend,
Okay.
which is not.
You
which is-
must have read my mind.
I'm not going to be able to spend it after that. I don't think there's enough time to spend $3,000. So the city will get it back. Okay, and then treasurer's report. Veronica, Hazel, secretary's report. These have to be published still in May minutes. I do have them. And I will publish them. My report, I do have a draft still from, I think, May. I have to publish. We did vote on that. I forgot the newsletter or doing a newsletter. I don't know if that's a motion. Did you guys vote on that? I'll put it under the do we need to, is that motion to be put up or?
I don't think so, because I think you just took on that task to look at the budget and to see what it's going to look like for us.
Okay. Yeah, so we talked about hiring somebody to put together a newsletter that we can go out for us, a monthly newsletter. So then committee reports, bylaws, I don't know how specific we have to be at these. I'll ask David, I guess. The amendments are here though. If you click on this, it will take you to the bylaw minutes and very specific what the amendments are.
Right, and I'm sure David, if there were any changes to be made, he's already done it. Well, we did it.
Yeah. And then nominations and elections. So, this is election for chairperson, vice chairperson, and secretary. Parks and recreation. This is old. This needs to be deleted. This is from last month. So
Yeah,
Lisa's not going.
Oh, okay.
Lisa's not going to be here this month. She's out on leave. Leadership depends on what we vote on tonight, if anything. I got no responses for Stop the Bleed outside of the one.
All I got was Hazel. Did you get someone else?
Nope.
I spoke to John and he's willing, with people within the community board who would like to do it within community board 11. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe you guys know people who might be interested who live in the community. If not, I'll see what else I can do.
I think it's a good idea, Sandy. The only thing is during the summer is a tough time. People are either on vacation.
That's another thing. Everybody goes, when?
Yeah. So if we set something up for September or October, I'm sure you'll get a full house.
Yeah, I will be in touch with John because I've spoken to people. They would rather have it in the evening. Even a weekend would even be more preferable because they do work. Like maybe on a Saturday afternoon. So I will get in touch with John again and let him know, what I've gotten so far.
All right. So I got to put on. So Hazel, before we schedule any meeting for your committee, we want Jacoby there, right?
Yeah.
So let me try to make sure. So we're looking at the end of the month, the first Monday, I think, or the last Monday of the month. We're talking so far. We're looking, right?
Hold on. Yeah, the 27th, Monday the 27th.
Okay. So I got to make sure Jacoby can make that. So it's the Just Home Initiative. And let me type the Just Home Initiative.
Jeremy, I don't know how much more Jacoby knows than, I said at the meeting. They got the information at the same time I did. You might want to get the people from Just Homes, but I don't know if they'll come yet because right now they're in the talking stages. They haven't even gotten a developer yet. They're looking for a developer. So
Okay.
I don't know what the hospital. I'm just saying I don't know what the hospital can add if they do come. They may not want to come only because they don't want to commit to something they don't know.
Also, my question is because I know what has gone on with Bronx State, who has the final say in whatever is going to be done. I don't think it will be the hospital. I think it will be the city itself. Just as whenever I talk with the psych center, everything goes back to Albany. So
it came from Health and Hospitals. They made the presentation.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So we'll reach out. We'll see what we can get. I did get the. Did I get the presentation? I thought I forwarded onto the board. I just started.
Yeah,
I just started publishing on social media what Jacoby told me. So I'll probably send out the presentation to the public distribution list as well. Okay, so unless there's any questions about that, were there any other motions by any of the committees? Did transportation have any motions that were made that should be on the agenda?
They made a motion and then I think they almost started a motion and took it back. They wanted more information on the one-way street at Rhinelander. They were waiting for DOT to provide that information. Did they provide it?
No.
Not yet. Krista and I talked about it yesterday, and to Bernadette's credit, she asked for this a long time ago, right, Bernadette?
Yes, I did.
So
I
it was
have the emails to prove it.
yeah, that's how I know. I was looking at it the other day. It was requested a long time ago. Even
I
though
also, I also requested just an update on what they were doing with the possible speed bumps on Rhinelander and Wallace. So it's, you know, so I haven't, it was, I just saw the email that Chris sent out, and I was just going to send out an email to Keith. So
they
yeah.
said at the Transportation Committee, the acting commissioner of DOT for the Bronx did say he could provide us the data and we could share it with the public. I believe, am I wrong about that, Yahe? You were there? Rabbi?
Say again, Jeremy. I listened to it. I wasn't there. I listened to it on YouTube.
No. Yeah, the acting commissioner said he could share the data with us and we could share it with the public.
Yeah, correct.
He was very
Yeah, we're
receptive
just
to
waiting
it,
for it. I thought,
and he said you could get what he has, plain and simple.
I mean, no, I know
they
there's
gave
a
us deadline to vote on it, right?
What's that?
Right, Jeremy? They gave us a deadline to vote on it, and we missed the deadline already, right?
Okay.
Oh, we did? Yeah, probably.
Well, you know, now's not a good time. No problem.
Joe, do you have something in the background? Joe Thompson, you want to mute yourself?
Yeah, what do you,
Economic development. Did you vote on anything?
yeah,
No, you
well, actually, we did. We voted on 3 locations, and one we had to defer for a later date because we need more information.
Joe,
No, we didn't vote on any locations. Remember, we didn't have a quorum, so we couldn't make any
Oh,
motions.
that's right. No, she's right. We didn't have the quorum.
I'm
We
gonna
just discussed it.
if I may, Joe, I'm going to throw this out because I noticed the other day when I finally went out that cafe on Waring Avenue off Eastchester Road, that there's always been a problem. They added an outside, but they did not have any permits to do it. So they're opened again. You know, it's like a private social club. Oh God, it used to be like an Albanian social club or whatever what you want. It's right next to Casa Doro going up Waring Avenue. No, Mace, excuse me, Mace. It's Mace right off Eastchester. I don't even know what the name of it is now. But
Okay.
they you take a look.
Yeah, I'm gonna go by and I'm gonna take a look and I'm gonna speak to them.
All
and
right.
see if they've got any kind of permission, or if they've got any permission from the
I
neighbors.
did not see any posted sign, you know, city permit. And I went by a couple of times, but they built it, and I thought they were closed for a while because they need a liquor license. There's liquor served there. You could see the liquor bottles.
Okay.
Yeah, they've had a liquor license in the past.
Yeah, but did it expire yet, though?
Chris can look into it.
Yeah, maybe the name changed or whatever. Okay.
But I'll just since you didn't have a quorum, I'll just put it up. I'll just put your agenda items there. I mean, if you want to vote on it tonight, we have a quorum tonight. It's up to you.
No, because they were there. Well, they weren't there, but I'd rather do it in committee and get the right information.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about last night, your agenda. The agenda items from last night.
Okay. Yeah, we can really vote on these because these places are known to everybody, I think.
How about the renewals?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm talking about Fratelli.
Fratelli,
on
Patricia.
2507 Eastchester Road. It's been cleared by the police. They have no problems. Haven't had an arrest there since 2009. So I would include Fratelli's, the Golden Corral, which is relatively new. It's only been there a couple of years, but they've already, and the police, they have no problems there. And as a matter of fact, they're involving the police in some of their activities. So we have no problem with the Golden Corral. And I think everybody knows Patricia's, and they have no incidents, no 311s nor 911. It's a well-established location. So those three locations, I would say that we can lump them together and say we have no problems with them.
Right. Joe, I see support request support from Milo Times. What group is that? What group do they represent?
Milo Times?
Yeah, you have
the cannabis dispensary guy.
Oh, well, that's different. That's different. That's something totally different.
Yeah, but I mean, it just says support request, but we don't know what the request is for.
Well, they're requesting our sort of support because they want to come in and open a cannabis place, and they sort of need a recommendation from the board. Now,
Well,
yeah. But that's not part of this. I just want to take a vote on these three locations, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So,
the only question I have, Jeremy, we're going to have to vote again next week. So why are we voting twice?
Well, it's
the whole board has to vote. The whole board has to vote on this. So we're doing all this twice.
Yeah, but we have to vote, I think, in a committee and then bring it up to the full board. So
you don't have to, but like the executive board, you vote there and then you take it to the board. So ideally, it does get handled by subcommittee. You don't have to. It's really up to you guys.
Well, we might as well do it. It's here. I've presented it. So as far as the full board is concerned, we can say we had this in committee, leadership committee, and regular committee, and we have no problems with it. So it's Patricia's, and it's the Golden Corral and Fratelli. And I'd like to make a motion that we have no problems with these locations as far as our leadership board is concerned.
A second.
I approve or second it or whatever.
Any objections? Any abstentions?
Yeah, he's abstaining.
Okay. One abstention, no objections. So that's put together for our general meeting, and we will make sure that that's expressed there. Now the other place, La Casa del Mofongo, that's problematic because there's nobody there yet. They haven't even started working on that. And they do have another place in Manhattan that did have a sealed arrest and 311 noise complaints. That's a separate place from the place they want to open at La Casa de Mofongo. And that's in 1750 to 1780 Gun Hill Road. That's that small mall that used to have Fridays. So they'll be taking the spot that Fridays used to have. But we're going to table that until we talk to somebody and get some more information.
Just going to take it off the agenda.
Okay, that's fine.
And then the last thing was the question Sandy had about support request.
Well, we have a support. We had gentlemen come in and we videotaped it, and they're actually asking for support because they want to open a cannabis store. And
do they have a location that they're interested in?
They don't really have a location. They may have a location, but they don't really have an express location. They're looking for support.
But I think that when you ask her, they want the request, for support, we should explain on the information what it's for, not just a request. This way, let the people, the rest of the group know that our request for support to open up a cannabis shop, etc., or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, the link. This is hyperlinked on the website. I know there was an issue yesterday with it working, but it does work now. It will work for the full board if you vote, but it's on the economic development agenda. If you want, I could bring it up too if you really want the details. Go ahead,
No,
Bernadette.
we're gonna table this because first of all, we haven't had an opportunity to speak to anybody because there's nobody there. And second of all, we'd like some answers to their location on St. Nicholas Avenue with their one seal arrest.
Oh, wait a minute. I think you're talking about two different things.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
One,
When
you were
you say-
talking about them
Excuse me for 1 second.
opposing,
I'm
and the
under the
other was-
impression that leadership committee is supposed to okay an agenda. What we're doing is we're picking the agenda apart. We're gonna do, doing the same thing at the general meeting, so why are we double dipping? We either okay the agenda or we don't okay the agenda. That's what we're here for.
Well, we just want to make sure we're not going to vote on some of this stuff. We're tabling TGI Fridays, or what used to be TGI Fridays. We're tabling Mellow Times too, Joe?
Mellow Times?
Yeah, the cannabis dispensary. We're tabling that?
Oh, we're tabling that. As a matter of fact, we instructed their spokesperson to come in with their ownership and give us the information. And if they're looking for a specific location, to give us the location they're asking for. So he's supposed to show up at the general meeting.
Yeah, he's going to register to speak. Okay, so then for your report, I'm not going to put economic development. I'll just leave the motions on to leadership, which is what we voted on tonight.
Yeah.
That should be good enough. Right, Joe?
Yeah, and it's tabled until the general meeting, until these people show up, until they tell us the location. Then we'll know. Okay.
Great.
May
So,
I-
go ahead, Bernadette.
Okay, may I ask if there has been, or should this be part of this meeting with regards to 500 Morris Park Avenue? The issue that went on there? I know you had done a 311 call because I was in transit. Is that they were working without permits?
500?
Yeah, right on the corner of Adams Street. They were not working. They extended the whole corner of, it's not open for business, but they extended the whole corner out from its location. And I was going on the train and I was like, I said, I don't see any of your permits. Do you have any permits to do this work? And I didn't have time to make a 311 call, so I had called up Jeremy, and I think Chris had made a 311 call.
Okay, well, that's not on the agenda. We would have to investigate that. We'd have to go by there and see if they do have permits and take it from there.
Yeah, I think Jeremy, did Chris, I'm sorry, I just didn't follow up on it before I came on to the meeting. But
The Department of Buildings did go out of exactly what their disposition was. Okay, they've requested an inspection of the property. I have to see if I can look it up. I'll look it up and I can share with you and the board or the State Liquor Authority if necessary.
yeah,
We can bring that to the next meeting,
yeah.
to the general meeting.
Yeah, this was, here we have a business that's opening up again and already they're working without permits.
What else is new?
Well, we don't know that yet.
Trust me, there were no permits. I asked to see them. Even if they didn't have them up and everybody was looking at me like I had four heads. I'm sorry. Okay,
What's the address again?
it's 500 Morris Park. It's
Morris
a corner.
Park.
It's right by Transit 12, right by 180th Street, across the street. It's
Well, we'll definitely look at it and see if they
Okay.
do have any kind of permits. And
yeah.
if they
so
don't, they'll come up in the general board.
Okay, I just wanted to be out there and to be followed up. So
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so so they did get a violation. I'm looking it up right now in the buildings department
It's
website.
good.
Yeah, they got an ECB violation. At time of inspection, observed illegal extension on street level from Adams Street to Morris Park. Structure is made of wood and windows. Structure approximately 70 linear feet and 8 feet high. Work is completed. So it's an ECB violation. So if you want, like, I don't know what you want to do with that, but I could.
Yeah, well, it's already been satisfied.
All right.
Yeah, I think they received a violation on June 2nd, right, Jeremy? I think we're looking at the same thing. There was a ECB violation and the compliance is pending.
Yeah, June 3rd is what I got. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
inspection date was June 3rd. The violation is, or June 2nd. Violation was June 3rd.
I just want to make that goes to the nature and the character of the business. I'm just making it so noted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, that issue is satisfied, so we're not going to bring it up.
It's not satisfied with me, but that's okay.
Okay.
Well, they're not up for renewal right now. So, but
Yeah.
I could bring it up, I guess, then later. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll wind up paying a fine, maybe, and then they hope everything will be forgotten.
Yeah, but it's not forgotten.
I
because
know that,
But
Bernadette.
that place has had a past history. The past owner.
But you can always revisit that, even after that judgment. You can always revisit.
Okay.
All right. So sticking with the agenda, Sandy, is there anything you're going to need to announce? Or
I will just bring up about Stop the Bleed again, remind them, and if I get any information from John before the meeting, then I'll add it in. But I'll just mention about Stop the Bleed.
okay, Bernadette, do you want to remind people to complete the Youth Leadership Award?
Yes. Yes, I would, and I want to remind people to start looking for new nominees because the deadline is October 22nd or 28th. So they have to start talking to nominees now.
Okay. And yeah, we still haven't gotten a word on the checks being cut for the Yankee Award recipients yet.
Well, I've alerted everybody to alert their nominees. I sent an email out for the board, the committee members, to just keep in touch with their nominees and keep them updated. So as soon as you have any information, send it to me. I'll send it out to the committee members, and they'll follow suit.
And then Ethics had a meeting this month. I'll put them on there. Housing, Public Safety's having a meeting next week. Sanitation, I think, had a meeting this month. Transportation had a meeting. But is there anything that we got to vote on that's not already on the agenda?
Jeremy, the only thing you didn't put on the agenda was we mentioned about the weekly newsletter or the monthly newsletter that would go out. I didn't see that on the agenda.
Yeah, you spoke about it. You mentioned something, but
We talked about it in leadership. I mean, on the executive board meeting.
Okay.
And we wanted to we made a motion and we passed it that there would be a monthly newsletter sent out by the board.
Well, I don't think you voted on it, but we're definitely exploring it, right?
We will vote on it. How's that?
Okay.
Jeremy, I think we still have a couple of items to vote on tonight that will be added to the leadership agenda or the general agenda.
Yeah, we didn't vote on this stuff, right? But we may vote on this.
So the world can move in better ways. Jeremy, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it, but did we vote or can we put up about the 2-minute sessions in the gallery in all committee meetings? Did we talk about that at all?
Yeah, it's right here. So the executive board voted earlier to limit the gallery session or each speaker to an initial 2 minutes of uninterrupted speaking time.
Great, thank you. Just wanted to clarify.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So any other committee reports?
Yeah. Hey, John. Hey, Jeremy. I think we may have a land use meeting. I'm not sure. I think you saw some email going back and forth with Kenny.
Yeah, they had I think a ULURP application.
Okay. If
yeah,
not,
we need to schedule something ideally.
Okay.
So let me put it on there so Kenny can announce and make everybody aware.
Okay.
Good point, Earl.
Yeah.
I could put a bullet point just so we specifically remember what. They haven't actually filed yet, so no clock is ticking. They reached out to us in advance of applying, I think, if I recall the email. All right, so that aside, elected officials, old business, new business. Anything else?
What about the voting for the people? Where do we put in for the voting for the
8B,
chairman?
nominating elections committee.
Oh, nominating an election. Okay.
That's the second thing after the bylaw.
Yeah, I saw. Okay.
Unless you want me to put leadership first. It's up to you. Yeah. The sooner we get the electronic ballot out there, I think the better. All right.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
I have a question. We had a guest at the economic development meeting last night. It was Mellow Time, and they are looking to get support from Community Board for a retail dispensary license for cannabis.
We were just talking about that.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Sorry, it was breaking up. So as long as you've talked about it already, that's okay.
Yeah, they were requested to come to the gallery and then give their speech there.
All right, thanks. I walked into another room and it broke up and I didn't hear that, but thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. So we'll move on from the agenda, Yahe. That's good for now.
Should we do a motion to approve it?
Well, let's wait for. Remember, you're gonna wait for the end.
Okay.
Go for the
Good.
gallery.
I was gonna do a motion to approve it as is, so we don't have to pull it back up. You can just make the edits later.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Say it again. I didn't hear you. Broke up.
No, I was thinking.
Yes.
Motion now just to vote on it as it is, and then you can later.
Did you hear that, Sandy?
He said, I think he's something about make a motion and something about later on. That's about it.
Make a motion to accept it. Make a motion to accept the agenda.
Right.
As is. Okay. So you're making that motion, yeah? Hey?
Yahe made it.
Motion to approve the agenda. The agenda as it is, seconded by Al. Any further discussion? Abstentions? Objections? All right, motion passes. Move on to the next item, which is the calendar.
All right. It's all right. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, let me bring it up.
Oh.
I'm just tired. I don't blame you.
Yeah, we feel you, Sandy.
So July 4th, we're closed, the office. So we have Muslim holiday on the 9th through the 11th. This is, remember, thanks to Rabbi Fuchs, we only put whatever's on the alternate side calendar, whatever is recognized by the city officially. So that's it for July. I don't know if anybody wants a meeting. If you want a meeting.
Jeremy, can you add when alternate side part?
It's July 5th. That's July 5th.
Yeah, can you put it on the calendar? It'd be nice for her.
What do you mean?
July 5th is when it goes back.
It goes back
to pre-COVID. Yes, which I'm hoping that we've had issues with the alternate side of Van Ness. We have not been having our street cleaners. It's on and off just this morning. And, you know, everything is from 4 days to 2 days because of COVID. And now they want to bring it back. I mean, I had a discussion with my neighbors this morning. It's like, why are they even having us do this if they don't even show up? It's we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's alternate side. It's an issue.
You know what? Maybe you could put down something, like, not, yeah, oh, he did it. He did,
I'll figure out the wording. It's the 5th, you
Right.
said, right?
yeah.
All right. So then, unless there's any other thing for July, we'll move to August. I don't see, there's a feast assumption that's an alternate side parking restriction. Unless there's anything, anybody wants a meeting, we'll go straight into September.
What about August putting the night out against crime?
Okay.
It's on what, the first Tuesday, right?
The
Is
second.
that- So
That's the second
August
Tuesday?
2nd.
Okay.
So is it August 2nd or the second Tuesday in August?
August 2nd.
Okay.
It's always the first Tuesday.
I know, Joe, you'll always remember that. I'm glad somebody does. I always get it confused.
What time, Joe?
I better remember it.
I know.
It's 6 or 7?
It starts at 6. Starts
Yeah.
at 6.
6 to 9.
6 to 9. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we won't get rained out. Well, last year wasn't bad. The 2 years before that it got, or the one.
Is it going to be the same location by
Yeah,
Brady?
Commerce Mall. Same place, Commerce Mall.
Oh, so down by Bronx Park East.
Yeah. And Leidig for a cross
Right.
street reference.
I just want to
Um,
remind everybody, if we have a problem with that, that housing development that's going on Jacoby and we need to meet, there may be a call for an emergency
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
sometime during the summer. We can't let that
That's
slip
good.
by.
That's good.
So Al, I know you brought it up during the executive board meeting, but I'm not sure if everybody really paid attention to my email or knows what that's about. I don't know if Hazel or did we discuss that only during?
I'll be brief. I was at a meeting at Jacoby when they presented, they're going to put 100 units, studio apartments on the grounds right near the 9/11 memorial. It's going to be 60% of it will be from released prisoners from Rikers Island who are homeless. The other 40% will be people low income, making I think it's $39,000 a year or less, with a mental issue or a physical issue or some kind of medical issue. So that was presented. They haven't picked a developer yet, but they're in the process of going out and finding a developer. The presentation was made by Health and Hospitals. And again, I asked Jeremy to put it out to everybody, which he did. Just want to make sure that everybody is aware. It's something that this community is not going to be helpful to this community.
What I don't understand is.
I asked them, let me finish, Sandy. I asked
Okay,
them if
I'm
they would
sorry.
put in a senior program and a daycare during the day and a senior program, senior citizen development at night, so that seniors have a place to go, because there's no senior housing. So
No,
senior
there isn't.
housing and daycare during the day. That was my proposal, but that would only be beneficial to the neighborhood. Why would they listen to me?
I know, what,
That's
could,
it.
could I ask who basically proposed this? I mean, was it Health and Hospitals?
It was Health and Hospitals.
So what, are they hurting for money?
I have no idea, but I asked them if it was there, where else have they done this? Of course, it hasn't been any other place. So again, they're
Oh.
experimenting in the Bronx.
Right.
Just to clarify, when he says HHC, it's not Jacoby specific.
No, it's not Jacoby at all. Jacoby has to, they work for Health and Hospitals. They have to be neutral when it comes to the way they stand on this, but I'm sure they're not happy with it. I know the hospital police aren't.
Do you, are the who are the main CEOs, et cetera, that are, do you have that information about directly who is?
It should be on HHC's website, since it's a city agency, I believe,
Okay.
or authority.
My idea was, if I could say something, why not make housing for either nurses' residence or for maintenance, so that there would be people there 24/7 and they would be right on the premises. They used to have a nurses' residence at Jacoby.
They have a nurses' residence. They still do.
Do they still? And they
Yes.
the nurse? All right,
Yeah,
I thought,
we need senior housing, and we need
Yeah,
daycare
that's
for the
true,
nurses
too.
and doctors, so their children can go to
Yeah.
daycare while they go to work and then pick them up later. That would be,
Yeah.
that would be a positive influence on the
oh,
community.
absolutely. Look, they also have a forensic unit at Brock Psych where patients are living there. And they used to have a whole forensic unit at Kirby Psych Center. And what has happened to that? It's gone. So they take away and then they complain that they have to have more services for the mentally
What I've,
disturbed, mentally ill.
what I've asked everybody to do that, because the neighborhood is up in arms because it's out there.
Oh,
I
of
asked them
course.
to write letters to their congressman, their councilman, the council person, and their state senator, and let them know, and the borough president, because I don't know how she feels about it, but it sounds good. You know, everybody wants to help people that are downtrodden. My argument has been, we take care of our own. Stop dumping on the Bronx. And that's what they're
Yes.
doing. They keep dumping
Yes.
on the Bronx, and the Bronx is losing its middle class. We're the
Yep.
poorest, the least educated, and the unhealthiest borough in the city, and yet they keep doing this to us. So,
Al, may,
Staten Island has one homeless shelter, one.
well, that's because their elected officials are working together.
No.
So they have strong elected officials that are working to listen to the community. We don't seem to have, we don't seem to get that initiative. At least in situations like this, they should be jumping and saying, you know, okay, what is the community? You know, we should be getting input, but it's, I don't know if I shouldn't, I shouldn't say that. Have we approached any of our elected officials on this? Al, has anybody?
It's an election year, and it's a good time to ask them before the election to see how they stand on it. Again, what
Okay.
happens is they'll tell you they're with the community, but then they do nothing. In other words, if
Well-
they sit on their hands, they're not helping us. We need
Right.
active.
Well, it's lip service.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
active elected officials to get out there and make some noise.
We have to
Al,
make statements.
Al, a quick question. So, the property that the property that Jacoby's on, it's HHC. If it's city property, there are things that the community board has a big influence on, which is the ULURP. So before they can construct anything on a city property, I believe it has to go to some type of land use officially with city council and all of those things. So unlike a private developer buying a piece of property and getting as of right, I think we should look into see what are the approval process for construction on a city property and who needs to clear that. And if it's a city council member, or if it's a city council, or if it's ULURP, I mean, Salamanca just got, I think he's the chair of the ULURP. So if we need to reach out to the right people, we should be able to ready to do that. But before we do that, we should just try to find out what is the process, what approval process do they need? Unlike the state, which has that whole compound there.
John.
The city has a little different.
Yeah, and the state who
Thank
built
you, John.
John, and let me tell you something. The state had a whole building built of single room occupancy apartments, literally state of the art. And what did they wind up doing? They found a provider to take care and put in their own group instead of working with the community. For years, I questioned, what are you doing with this property? And now there's another property, the Ginsburg building. So they're looking to make money instead of really investing money to help the patients. They'd rather get providers to come in. And that's a big problem. But they had that whole building, single room occupancy with, and
Yeah.
years. I mean, it was.
You know what it
just,
is, Sandra? The way the city and the state works is they
Oh,
cannot
don't-
charge. So the way that look, I've done it. So
And I'm on the board of visitors, and I have to deal with it and get frustrated.
So here's the thing: when the city and the state have properties, similar to like Bellevue, which is a city-owned property So they don't charge the provider rent. They give the provider a contract or an RFP, which is a request for proposal, to come
Yeah,
provide services. So look, we have to get more intricate into exactly what the facts of the matter are. If Ed Jacoby, if it's a city-owned property, it's a huge piece of property, right? It goes from like Pelham Parkway all the way to Morris Park, Eastchester Road, all the way to, I don't know if it goes to Williamsbridge, but I think it cuts off somewhere in the middle there. It's a large piece of property that the city owns. So when that comes up, it's not just the community board. There are processes that comes up. Unlike the state, which sells most of their stuff to Joe Simone, and he's building a huge empire at Hutchinson, which God bless him, great. You know what? But maybe this particular site is more suited for a collaboration with the state where there's already there, and they have plenty of. Both my kids played at Bronxchester baseball, right? I used to take them there all the time, and
right.
there's been empty buildings there over and over and over. I mean, nobody's touched those things, and there are private developers like Simone that capitalize on that. But if there's a way that HHC can talk to since the mayor and the governor have such a great relationship now, maybe instead of putting it at Jacoby, it just goes to that one site that's sitting empty in the vast majority of Hutch. Instead of developing more medical offices, maybe this particular thing could be done at the state property. But that's a big lift for us. It's not just, hey, how do you kill this? It's, offering alternatives. So we're a community board that wants, we understand the need, but we don't want to just say, okay, no off the bat. Say, hey, why don't you go talk to the state? We already have these services there. Why do you want to double up these services here? Is an economy of scale better to open it up there, but all those services already exist? Monty already has a methadone clinic on Waters Place.
Right. There are several other agencies that are also on that state property.
So why this big lift? So why this big lift to create a whole entire building on a piece of property that probably doesn't need a new construction site coming up, right? Disrupting one of the only two trauma centers in New York City, in the Bronx, right? So I think first thing to do is, if the community says they don't want it, okay, offer an alternate site and how we can work with the state, talk to Biaggi or whoever else that has the state and say, hey, why can't we put it there? But the first step to see is what's the process, and if they're approaching us, to see if there's a ULURP process where we can have the most say, where we can go to our council member and say, hey, look, you have a vote to do this or not, and let me see how it goes. And we have to be smarter. We're the Bronx, so we have several council members in the Bronx, and the chair of the ULURP or the zoning is Rafael Salamanca, who's a Bronx guy. So if we need to cross that bridge, I think Al and the team here that needs to look at it, see if there is a ULURP process in this, and if there is, let's strategize at that point to see how to move forward.
So
Yeah, John, typically there is a ULURP process because the disposition of any non-residential city-owned property has to go through a ULURP process typically. So yeah.
You know what? You're absolutely right. But you know how it changes from, when I work with the city, when I have city-owned property, when I want to do development on it, it did go to a ULURP process. Like Board of Ed has a whole different process with the SCA, right? School Construction Authority.
Yeah, because they have their own.
The
They
rest
have
of the
their
world.
own buildings.
Exactly. So
Right.
I don't know if HHC has that. So
No, they do
to
not.
get more clarification, if they don't, Oral, you know better than anybody else. So if there isn't, maybe we can pick your brain a little bit and see what the process is. And if we need to put a door stopper there, we can do that. And if not, look, I'm all about helping people, but there's a right place to do it, and then there's a place not to do it. And if we already in this Community Board 11 have a large influx of nursing homes, communities, we just got a couple of shelters now, but if we already have something that's an accessory service to something that can be added at Waters Place, why not?
Okay.
I want to jump in here and just point something out, and I appreciate all of this information, but I really want everybody here to understand that we need to follow through on this. It seems like we do a lot of talking, but we're not following through. So we need to think of what the next step is, and we need to take the next step. So, Al, if you feel that there needs to be a meeting or something set in August after there's some sort of more facts are taken, because
Brenda, hold on. We're trying to have a housing committee meeting at the end of the month. We're going to
Okay.
reach out to Jacoby. I don't know if they can get us the name of the provider. There was a presentation made before the Jacoby Community Advisory Board. That's how Al knows about it, because he's on that board. And then
Jeremy, I sent you and Hazel all the the pictures that I took.
but Jacoby sent me, I think, the presentation.
Okay.
Which I sent out to the board. Now, this is, just to be clear, Al, you said this is permanent housing. This is not transitional housing, right?
No, it's permanent housing.
Okay. And they have to build out the facility. It's not the nurse's residence or anything like other existing structure they plan on
The
using?
address is 1900 Seminole. It's right near the 9/11. If you've ever been to the 9/11
Memorial.
It's right there. It's right next door.
I hope that everybody on the board, and especially here in the leadership meeting, understands that if there are city properties and there are, things that the community could benefit from, Al, you're absolutely right. We need senior housing. That is number one. I have to say, a community center and our future with our children are number one in my book. For our children have no place to be nurtured, no place to go to, but every other community does. So we do not have a community center. We don't have a place where kids could go to. The Morris Park Library is great, but they're not a community center. They could just do so much. We don't have enough senior housing. And these things, we don't have middle schools. These are issues that have been chronic. And I would really love Community Board 11 to really have that as a priority focus and put it somewhere in writing. Because if we don't start implementing that, the developers are, as the borough president had said to us, the developers already make their backdoor deals and then they present them to the community. We need to be able to be putting out what the community needs and standing behind it.
Bernadette, you're right. Everything that they do is detrimental to the community instead of positive things. You're right. A middle school, a community center, senior housing, daycare. There's a whole bunch of things that would be beneficial to the community and help the people that live here. Rather than that, they want to chase people away.
No, they just want to make money in a property. They want to make money.
Well, that's the bottom line.
But listen, we're going on this other way, right? So I'm looking at it now. It's 1900 Seminole, which is a R4 designation. It's within 1,000 square feet, or 1,000 feet of a school, a grammar school, which is the Icon School. So, number one, jail releases can't be sexual offenders, is right? SARA compliant. There's a lot of little things. We should definitely have a special meeting to discuss this. Yes. It isn't oral. It's a R4, so their buildable square feet is right now. Jacoby has like 1.4 million square feet of gross floor area. So maybe we should discuss it more offline and in the housing meeting and strategize, right? Instead of just yell and scream like this is wrong, we don't want this in our neighborhood. Procedurally, right? The glove does not fit. You gotta quit. So we'll go in and we'll see and say, hey, look, it does not fit. Your zoning regulations prevent you from this. You can't do that.
That's good.
So
Good idea.
So let's look at that a little bit more. And luckily, we have Oral and we have architects and everybody else on this and developers. So let's strategize and see how to go about doing this and maybe offer alternates, right? We don't want to be a community board that just says we don't care about people.
No, yes, exactly.
You know what? When we make a collective decision, we'll do that. But let's table this and let's discuss it at the housing. And I'm sure Oral and I have a conversation on the side about this and get some technicalities on this and see why it doesn't happen or why it does.
Please,
and-
please make sure I'm part of that.
And I already emailed Jacoby asking if we have a meeting at the end of the month. And I'll publish the report in my, or no, not, I'll publish the presentation in my report on the website for the public.
So Jeremy, I'm sorry, you said that they are going to be at the housing, in
No,
the housing.
I just asked if we can have a meeting. I mean,
Okay.
housing wants to have a meeting, but if they're not there, if they won't come at the end of the month, maybe July,
Okay. I just want, I really do want this to move. And if you please make me be a part of this, I will work on whatever information. I'm like so tired of watching all this happen. It's just, it's nonstop for our community, and it needs to, you're correct, John. It needs to get facts and move forward and give alternatives.
I agree. I just want us to continue moving on because we haven't even gotten to the gallery session. We've already designated a special meeting for this, so I'd just like to, so we've seen the 3 calendars, right? Do we need to see September? You're pulling up September?
Yeah, we didn't talk about September. Labor Day is on the 5th, so transportation, if they meet, we'll meet on the 12th. This is all contingent, I guess, upon agendas and stuff like that. Rosh Hashanah is at the end of the month. Luckily, our meeting's the week before. I don't see any conflicts that I know of.
Right, you put down, Jeremy, you put down meetings of, but they could also be taken off if there's nothing to have a meeting about.
Yep.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah, so if anybody knows right now that they don't want to meet in September, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll be harassing you in August for your agenda.
I don't know about September. All right, we'll see what happens. Let me talk to John.
So we'll move on from this, right? So let me go back to the agenda. Yeah, hey. If I can find it. Okay, so gallery, yeah, hey.
Yep, so 2 minutes per person. Let me look through the gallery. We have a 718 number that ends with 89. Would that person like to identify themselves and speak? Okay.
Sure, it might be my number. Hello? Hi, I think that might be my number. I'm not sure. Roxanne Delgado. Hello?
Okay, go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes.
But before we start, before those 2 minutes start, I have a question. What was the first motion made? Because I couldn't hear it because people were breaking in and out regarding the public hearing.
There was no motion made, so you can go ahead with the 2 minutes.
I think she might be referring to the agenda you voted on.
No, I was not referring to the agenda. I heard that there was a first motion made, but the only motion that can be voted today is on the agenda. Then I have no issue today.
We'll start the 2 minutes, and you can go ask your question, and we'll answer it.
Again, please know. 1 second. Don't start yet. I like to start. I don't want any profanity used towards me, any insults or any name calling or any insults before I start. Okay, and no interruption.
Okay,
Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Whenever you're ready, Roxanne. 2 minutes. Whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm ready. Regarding 2 issues with the bylaws. First one, for your own bylaws, it states the district manager report should be done in writing. It's not, because for the open meetings law, any issue to be discussed at the board, documentation should be provided to the public within 24 hours before that meeting is convened. But since the district manager is no longer report is no longer written, is no longer provided to the public, which I think is a violation of the bylaws and the open meetings law. Second, bylaws. Because the bylaws have a committee meeting regarding having less meetings, before that meeting, I sent an email to this manager asking what were the amendments to be discussed that was left unanswered, as well as the fact that gallery sessions were done after the motions were made. I made complaints to VP, and he said that he was going to address it. I don't know if they did, but that's the issue I have. Regarding the DOT data, I asked for that data the first time that study was revealed at the Transportation Committee. I asked at the meeting, I asked per email, I even foiled it, I called, and still no data provided by DOT. So the fact that they don't provide the data kind of concerns me, and please give me a 30-second warning. I feel like the fact is that the community board staff, and emphasize staff, should have been relentless or holding the interim commissioner accountable for not providing that data if they have requested it, as I did 4 months ago. Lastly, the ethics committee meeting. I think that meeting was horrendous. I would advise anyone to watch that because how those men, and I use that word loosely, behaved was outrageous. Believe me, that would be hell. You're not going to get away with that kind of behavior. But thank you. Enjoy your weekend. My statement's ended.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Next person, Diana Finch.
Hi, everyone. I have 3 quick items. I just wanted everyone to know that our farmers market is up and running Sunday mornings, 9 to 1 at Bronx Park East and Bronxdale at the edge of the public parking lot. And it's really wonderful, a woman-owned farm. Please come and check it out. I was curious to understand better the timing of the dismissal of members for non-attendance, the appointment of new members, and the election of officers, how that all is scheduled and how that works. And then also, I'm confused about the public hearing on e-scooters. Is it going to be in person or is it virtual? And if it's virtual, when do you register to speak? And how is the word being spread that we're having this public hearing?
It's a good question. We're going to do that remotely, I assume. Veronica Yahe?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, we got to decide, I would say, tonight. So
Yeah, it's going to be remote, and we should get
Because if you have the 36
hour.
hours and Monday's a holiday, when do people register to speak if they have to?
register now if you want. I mean,
Yeah, but who even knows that we're having this public hearing? Does the public know? Like, how were they told? I mean, I know it's been on the calendar, but I think it's unclear whether it was in person or virtual.
that's one reason it was on the agenda tonight, is to clarify that stuff. So you're aware of it. We'll make other people aware of it. And if you can help us make other people aware of it, that'd be very helpful.
30 seconds.
Okay, so it will be in person and you have to register by tomorrow?
I think.
No, it's supposed to be remote.
It's remote.
I mean,
It's
it
a
will be
remote
remote.
public
You have to
hearing.
register by tomorrow.
No, 36 hours means 36 hours prior to the start of the event.
But are we requiring even registration for that? Or can anyone in the public speak?
I mean, what we've been doing, we haven't had large enough attendance to really, outside of the homeless shelter, we haven't had a large enough attendance to really be strict with that.
Okay, I guess time is up, and I guess we're asking questions now. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
I think we can waive that requirement, Veronica, if you're okay with it. Anyone who dials in gets a couple of minutes to speak.
I'm fine with that. I think we have it on for an hour. I don't think we're going to get that much attendance with it, even when we send out the information, because they've already extended it for a year, the pilot program. But I have no problem with people speaking if they attend the meeting.
And I forgot your second question, Ms. Finch. What was it?
I can answer it. Yeah. Hey, so the Community Board 11 bylaws require us to have an election every year, regardless of what the BP does with appointments. We have no control over appointments.
Okay, Robert. I think Robert Press had a question too to the same issue. Go ahead, Robert.
Hold on. He's a member of the public. So
wait, what was
Did he have a question or he's going to talk?
He's not a board member. Okay. So Diana, you have a
the question was, what's the timing of all this? I was just unclear on when people get dismissed, when the new members get appointed, and when the election is held.
About removal.
So Mr. Press in the executive board meeting mentioned that the borough president's office, they should be doing this by April 1st of every year, reappointments, and I believe appointments. But
now, Jeremy, if a board member doesn't reapply, they're off the board April 1st, as you saw a few board members. If they reapply and are not reappointed, they're off by June 1st. Okay? And if they're reappointed, then they continue through, the 2 years.
So the borough president's office, it doesn't work that way. Long story short, it doesn't work that way. Tom reaches out to Al and me every year about reappointments in case the borough president should be apprised of anything. And he reached out to me and Al recently. They've not completed reappointments.
So Diana, was the other question with regards to removal? Or is that
The
clear?
question basically is, are the elections taking place at the point at which the board has the fewest members? Because
no.
people have been dismissed, but new people haven't been appointed yet.
No, the elections take place
it's
every year, same time every year, June.
Yeah, it's inconsistent and it should be more consistent. We'll pass that along to the BP's office. I know when I signed up, I was appointed in June and I stepped into a meeting with a vote and I was supposed to vote. And I'm like, I don't even know these people. Like, hello, nice to meet you. And I'm going to vote for you because, that's just how it worked. So I think there needs to be better planning when it comes to that.
I think what Diana is getting as people have these conspiracy theories that we're having our election for conspiratorial reasons. But our bylaws require us to have an election every June. That's it.
All right, so I'd like to go to the other speaker, Mr.
Just a quick thing, Diana.
Any of my questions be answered regarding the bylaw violation?
We're not going back and forth. We're not doing the back and forth.
I'm asking if my questions will be answered, or will they be ignored like always?
All right.
So,
Diana.
I mean, I muted everybody. Unless anybody has a question, unless anybody wants me to address our bylaw question, I'm happy to do that.
No,
Yeah.
but Jeremy, I think we're done. Just a quick thing, Diana, can you send an email to to Jeremy about the farmers market? I'd like to know more about that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
All right. I think when the bylaws were made, if I may kind of answer the question, we have elections every year, but it's not for every position.
It was staggered.
Correct. That's what yeah.
That could be read in the past minutes. I was
right.
Yes, I was.
Thank you,
around when
Bernadette. Yeah, but that's what I mean. I don't know about conspiracy theories.
No, it was.
I know. You know what Jeremy was. Alluding.
There was an ad hoc committee with David Levitz, and that was discussed. It was brought to the board.
Yeah.
It was very clear to everybody else, and it's written in the bylaws as to the nature of that and in detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what some people aren't aware of is there's allegations that the nominating committee met in secret to nominate Al for vice chair and all this stuff that never happened. I don't know if Diana Finch is going there, but I know where other people have gone. So that's why.
No, I don't think Diana, if you have any other questions, please read the bylaws because it's there. It's in detail, and and sometimes I have to go back and read it and remind myself also. That's why it's there.
And we try to make them as simple as possible for people to understand.
And for us to understand.
Why?
Easy.
All right.
So
thanks, everyone, and glad to dispel conspiracy theories.
Yeah, hey Robert, I don't know if you wanted to speak.
And where do I send my questions to be answered? Do they remain unanswered?
Which one?
I'm not speaking. Who is this? I'm not speaking regarding the bylaws, violations to bylaws.
Okay. I'd like to, Veronica, are you able to, Veronica, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I need to step away at sunset, so you might have to take over the meeting because it's going past what I thought it would.
Okay.
You're over by now.
Okay, so Mr. Press, do you have anything?
So again, the violation of the bylaws. Again, I'm waiting for the answer. Where do I send my questions to?
So apparently nobody wants to address that. Right? I mean, I can address it, but I don't think I need to right now. So Bob Press has been called on by Mr. Obeid. Bob, would you like to unmute?
Yes. Mr. Joe, if you remember last night at the meeting, I said I would speak to Senator Rivera's office. I spoke to Senator Rivera himself. He said, let Chris give him a call and at his assistant Julius, and they would try and get somebody at the meeting because you wanted somebody at the general meeting to inform people, the members, on the cannabis rules. So check with Chris on that, if he called Senator Rivera's office or not, or you can call me tonight. You probably have my number. Second item. Oral is right, or John, whoever said it, that since Jacoby is city property, it has to be a land use process, and that's what the borough president spoke to me and said to me when we spoke about this issue. I believe she's under the impression it's the nurses' quarters that might be reconditioned for these apartments. They're supposedly 400 square feet, she said. And if it is at Seminole, there's a 12-story building right behind it. So if they want to build another 12-story building, it's not out of context. So the board may not have any rules, but it's going to be a land use agenda meeting, is what the borough president said to me. Any questions?
Bob, I did get an email from Senator Gustavo's office regarding this, so I will forward it on to the board, the whole board.
Okay, thank you. Just
Thank you.
want my help for the board.
Oh, Bob, this is Joe. Listen, thanks, and I'll follow up on that.
Okay, thank you.
Can I, Jeremy, can I request
Everyone
that?
receives a response except for mine. I ignore. My questions
So-
are ignored.
I mean, if we keep getting interruptions, we're going to have to ask certain people to leave, I believe. Oral, what is your opinion? You're the sergeant at arms.
Just asking for answers, yes or no. Just say yes or no. That's all.
So Jeremy, if you can answer Roxanne's either her question now or at another time, I'm not sure I'm not sure if her question was answered. I don't know exactly.
I'd be happy to answer, but somebody needs to make a motion to go into executive session regarding pending litigation.
It takes an executive session to answer the question?
Yeah.
For the two bylaws?
Jeremy, just send her the answer in writing, please. This way you can email it to her.
Thank you. All I'm seeking is answers. It
Okay,
doesn't have
send
to
it.
be
Okay,
at the
okay,
moment,
Roxanne,
but
he'll send
email.
it to you. Jeremy, please, if you can go ahead and what Al just said, just if you can send it to her in writing, that's fine.
I will.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. All right, we can move on, Yahay? No, Yahay's not here anymore. Okay.
I'm still on.
Okay.
We're approaching sunset though. Do we have any more members of the public that would like to speak? All right, I guess we're done with the gallery session. Jeremy, if you can pull back up the agenda, I think we were going to vote. Sandy, what motion did you call on? I know you were about to call on a motion and I interrupted you and said after the gallery session.
Sandy still here?
Sandy, are you on mute, Sandy? Or you can discuss your question. Sandy?
What was does anyone recall?
I do not. So I don't know.
No, yeah, I do. It was regarding the agenda. It was regarding the location of the full board meeting. We already discussed that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's going to be remote, right? Okay.
It's going to be remote, but when,
Okay.
okay.
That's it, please.
All right,
Okay, next
sounds good.
one.
So old, do we have any other motions?
No, old.
No.
Old business? Any new business?
Just want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day.
Yes. Back at
Thank
you
you,
to
Al.
all the
Thank you.
dads.
Back to you.
I also wear
Laura?
that hat too, so.
Happy Father's Day. And also if anyone is concerned, Monday is Juneteenth, the first time we're having a holiday in New York City to represent the emancipation of slavery in the United States. So I think it's a good thing to address.
Yeah, so a good note, the office will be closed officially, so you can call me because a lot of you do or text me, but I may be curt with you.
Yeah, it'll be closed. Okay, I got that email from you, Jeremy. Thanks. Okay, if that's it.
I make a
Jeremy?
motion to make a motion to adjourn so I can watch the Yankee game.
Yes.
I want to watch it too. I want to
Second.
watch it too, Al.
Bye.
I hear you. Yankees are doing very well this year.
Sure
Yes,
are.
they are.
27, 827 meeting ended.
I
All right,
second.
thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
You
Take
too.
care.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a
Everybody
good weekend.
Have a good rest of the June.
Yeah.